I wrote this down because otherwise I start laughing. I went to my place and you'd be here till 10:30, so I'm going to read this to the best of my ability. And I start off with, good evening, Chelsea. Thank you, you're all so nice. Thank you for attending the 2026 annual meeting here at Rebel Run. Isn't this a fabulous place to celebrate our Chelsea citizens and businesses? Thanks to Jim and Darlene for reimagining my favorite golf course into something new and wonderful where we can continue to create lasting memories. Our annual meeting with the Chelsea Area Chamber of Commerce seems to kick off the start of our spring season. And with that, many wonderful events, such as this celebration. As I was reflecting on my involvement with the Chamber, which I think is in my 12th year now, they're going to kick me out pretty soon. I realized that the Chamber, I'd stay forever if they didn't have something in the bylaws. I realized that the Chamber of Commerce has been important to me in my growth as a community member, leader, and 20-year business owner in Chelsea. In the several iterations of the board and leadership of the Chamber, I have met, interacted with, and become friends with the most amazing, energetic, caring, and giving people. And that, of course, reminds me of a story. There was a guy who used to run the Chamber for about 14 years, and one day he invited me not to coffee, which is an informal thing. He invited me to lunch and said he would buy. Now I'm going to warn all of you, if you get invitations like that, they're going to ask you for something. So Bob Pierce, would you please stand up? And by the way, I didn't learn anything from that because people invite me to lunch and they always say, okay. So, as you can tell, I'm honored to be here with you tonight representing the Chelsea Area Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. We have a lot of introductions to do, so you're just going to hear me on and on. The event this evening serves two distinct purposes. First, the holding of the annual meeting for the Chelsea Area Chamber of Commerce, and second, which I'm guessing is the reason why almost all of you are here, is we're here to recognize the recipients of the 2025 Large Business Leadership Award, the Nonprofit Business Leadership Award, the Small Business Leadership Award, and the Citizen of the Year and Lifetime Achievement Awards. The Chelsea Area Chamber of Commerce serves businesses, the community, and visitors in Chelsea, Michigan, and the surrounding areas. Our mission is to provide services that advance commerce to establish and maintain Chelsea, Michigan as a premier community in which to live, work, and recreate. There are many people who take ownership of this work, and at this time, I would like to introduce 700 of them. No. First of all, the ambassadors of the Chamber, and they have a prominent position and responsibility in the business community. These 26 volunteer ambassadors serve our members in the community by being the goodwill arm of the Chamber. They're highly active, visible, and critical to the success of the Chamber events. And on behalf of the Board of Directors and as a member of this community, we thank you. So if you are currently a Chamber ambassador, stand up. Don't be bashful. I think the only day that did we buy their lunch once a month? No. Oh, we don't even buy their lunch. Thank you. That's all we had to offer. I now ask the following folks to stand. Our Chamber Board Directors, officers. I happen to be president right now, so I'm already standing. Lori Coriel, Vice President. Mike directors serving on our 2026 board, so please also stand. Jake Diver, Ben Miles, Lauren Tackwell, Joe Ledbetter, Al Cole, Todd Joback, Steve Petty, and Teresa Bola. See, this isn't a simple little thing. There's a lot to this whole Chamber of Commerce deal. All right, please join me and recognize our remarkable staff. Our Executive Director, Terrence Ahrens. And right next to Terrence is Madeline Wheeling. And for special events, Sam Mikulski. Their dedication to the Chamber and commitment to the Chelsea community is unparalleled. Next, before people stand up, I would like to thank the political representatives that honored our 2025 recipients with certificates of recognition up here. So if you are present, please stand up. Kate Henson, the Chelsea Mayor. Representative Kathy Schmaltz, 46th District Commissioner. State Senators Sue Shane, United States Congresswoman Debbie Dingell. Oh yeah, Debbie does 146 events a day, so she'll party downstairs and then she can go. And also Jason Masiewski, our County Commissioner, District 1. Our U.S. Senator, Alyssa Slotkin. And Michigan's Governor, shorter when I practiced this afternoon. The whole thing was 6 minutes. It's going to be way longer than that. As president of the Chamber Board, I could go on and on about the events that we host to create and maintain a vibrant and active Chelsea. And while that is an important part of our work, our businesses that belong to the Chamber have committed themselves to this work as well. The Chamber member businesses support us in so many ways. Chamber members provide access to borrow or buy books, sell us our homes, repair and refresh our homes, and businesses manage our finances, provide us with educational opportunities, keep us up to date on local news, insure our businesses, homes, and vehicles. They service our cars, provide health insurance, view our taxes, operate our school district, provide health and wellness opportunities, provide food for our families, frozen custard and ice cream on hot summer nights, furnishings for our homes, a great variety of food if we don't want to cook at home. Not everyone is a gourmet chef like my wife. Cake mixes for our birthday parties, late night pizza, provide recreational equipment and activities, and theatrical events that bring joy and laughter into our lives. And the list goes on, but I'm just stop right there. The simple fact is that the Chelsea Area Chamber of Commerce is the backbone of our business community, and with a small town feel, we are able to provide our community with big city opportunities. There are many exciting events that are hosted by the Chamber that put Chelsea on the map as a premier destination. Notable events are displayed right here on our news advertising. Thank you, Harris. You can read that, look at it later, have your picture taken standing next to it, and then attend everyone that you can. The Chile Chamber deal. That was great. That was great, Chile. It is thanks to so many of you in the room this evening that make the Chamber's work valuable, meaningful, and most importantly, beneficial to Chelsea's community. Now I'm very pleased to move on to the second part of our program, which is the reason you all came here. But first, a big thank you to Lake Trust Credit Union for your sponsorship of this event. For those of you who spent some time downstairs, thank you to the chamber members that provided the food. Big B Coffee, Cake by Katie, Chelsea Catering, Common Grill, Costco, Cottage Inn Pizza, Culver's, The Grateful Crow, Jeff's Pizza, Main Street Provisions, Silver Maple, Chelsea, Smokehouse 52 Barbecue, the Lake House Bakery, Thompson's, Valiant Bar and Grill, and Zuzu's Cafe. Now really, on to the awards. The business and individual awards will be presented this evening to members of the Chelsea community who are not only catalysts and advocates for businesses and area organizations, but who also promote a vital business community. They absolutely make our community better every day in so many ways. The Business Leadership Award nominations are reviewed and voted on by the Chamber of Ambassadors, who I introduced earlier. So here we go. It is now my pleasure to welcome City Manager Elle Cole, who will introduce the 2025 Large Business Leadership Award winner.
Good evening, everyone. I want to first begin by saying what an absolute honor it is to be here tonight. As many of you know, I am new to Chelsea, and I feel incredibly grateful to already experience the warmth and the pride this community has for people and businesses who make it so special. To be invited to stand here today and present this award tonight is truly meaningful to me. When you arrive into a new community, you start looking at places that help you understand it. The places where people gather and conversations happen, where you begin to feel the personality of the town. For me, that introduction was at Zuzu's. Yes, it's known for exceptional coffees, wonderful food, and a place where you can enjoy a great glass of wine or a cocktail and a meal with friends. Very, very quickly, I realized it's something much more than that. Zuzu's, in many ways, is an incubator of community connectedness. It was there that I first experienced something that seems to define Chelsea. In this town, people say hello to strangers. Conversations start easily. Someone pulls up a chair. You learn a name, you hear a story, you make a connection. And before you even realize it, you begin to feel like you belong. That spirit lives inside Zuzu's every single day. It is a place where cyclists stop after long rides, where artists and musicians share their talents, where visitors discover Chelsea for the very first time, where neighbors reconnect. It is no surprise that Destination consistently features Zuzu as a must-stop spot in Chelsea. Well, Zuzu is truly remarkable as the leadership and the generosity behind it. Mary Ann and the team at Zuzu's have helped to shape some of the traditions that now define this community. They were instrumental in creating beloved events like wine limited shopping, sidewalk sales, and the chocolate extravaganza, events that bring energy to our downtown, support local businesses, and create experiences people look forward to year after year. I can't even begin to imagine Chelsea without those traditions, without the laughter you hear out on the sidewalks, the excitement of those gatherings, and the shared moments that bring people together. Chelsea would simply feel not the same. And the leadership behind Zuzu shows up not only in big events, but in the small human moments too. During sounds and sights, you might have seen Mary Ann out on the street handing out water to our market vendors quietly, making sure that people feel supported and welcomed. She gives her time, her expertise, and her love for this community freely, and she teaches those same values to her staff. Because of that leadership, Zuzu's has become something rare. It's not just a cafe. It's not just a business. It is a place that feels and is meaningful, unique, and heartfelt. A place that reflects the very best of Chelsea. And for many it was one of the very first places where I experienced the spirit of this town. So, tonight, it is my absolute privilege to recognize the business that has helped the town. What makes Chelsea so special? Please join me in congratulating the 2025 Large Business Leadership Award recipient, CACC and Coffee Rock.
Very short. First of all, such an honor. I want to congratulate Lake House. 2 bakers. Maybe that's soothing to the soul. And that's what we started out with. I want to thank our staff. That's the face, that's who people come from. I mean, you know their names, you know what they're ordering, you say their bagels. We have a customer who goes on vacation and tells you, I'm gonna be gone for a week, so, you know, he's a little older, he doesn't want us to worry. That's what makes it. That was a beautiful thing. And hit me on that. One of these community has been so supportive for 20 years. We've done this. And you know, you're on the inside, you don't see it. You just work. You just make it consistent. When you're open, you're open. It doesn't matter if you have 4 customers or 40. You have your hours. You do what you have to do to just make it the place that's always there. I don't know, it's just, I want to thank my mentor, John Dunn. I don't know him. I'm sure many of you know John Dunn. Excellent man, great man. He saw what we were bringing to the community. That corner, that vibrant little corner, and he wanted that to continue. You know, we weathered some tough times. The downturn in 2008, we had that major renovation expansion in 17 when we took the back half of the building. He was always there to make sure that we just kept moving forward. The pandemic, my God, we sold toilet paper. Life is always full of obstacles, and how you overcome those obstacles is how you live your life. You just have to persevere. You have to have tenacity. You just keep doing what you're doing. Because why? Because you're passionate about it. You love it. And when I stand in that kitchen and I see my staff putting out so much food that's beautiful, and the dining room is full of people, all of their little groups chatting and talking. That just brings me, that's why we're there. And that's why I did this, looking for that little spot where people could just come together and we could just give something that made people feel. I had a story, and this really encapsulates the whole, in one little text I received from a woman who said, when I drive through town, it's dark, it's cold, in the winter, and this was pre-new windows. The new windows don't cross up. But she said, I could see the frost on the windows, and with dim light, I knew you were in there working, your bakers were working, and it gave me so much comfort to drive through town. That's it. That's what it was always about. So I thank you, I appreciate it, and my favorite spot is out
Thanks, Travis.
You're welcome.
Was that my job?
No, it's just we can talk about it. We're waiting.
Moving right along, next it is my honor not only to be serving as the board chair of the Chelsea Senior Center, but I get to introduce this excellent organization as the 2025 Nonprofit Business Leadership Award winner. So volunteers, we talk a lot about volunteers. I do. This whole town is run by volunteers. 60 years ago, in the very early days of what is now the Chelsea Senior Center, it was volunteers who made it all happen. When they first got board in the place, the board members ran the senior center. They didn't sit in a stuffy boardroom to do it. Nice to see all your people working out there. They were doing the work and kept the thing running. For decades, as the concept and reality developed, fundraising increased, permanent home was found, and a full-time paid professional staff was hired. Volunteers have always been, and still are, a profound part of that operation. Jennifer Smith has been in an organization for about 12 years. That's close enough. She's given me that. For some time was the assistant executive director, and now leading a dynamic team of staffers and volunteers who run fitness programs, deliver Meals on Wheels, plan local and international trips, offer caretakers a break with the Ease the Day program, help members with taxes, teach music, wood carving, quilting, and so many other programs. Okay, I'm rambling again, sorry. So you don't have to listen to me any longer. I am so pleased and honored to introduce to you Jennifer Smith. Jennifer Smith, a very talented, creative, dedicated, visionary executive director of the Chelsea Senior Center.
Thank you. We're thrilled to be here, and the Chelsea Senior Center team is honored to accept this award. Chelsea Senior Center is celebrating 61 years in 2026. I'll alluded to that. And what was envisioned by a small group of community stakeholders 6 decades ago still exists today. A place for senior citizens to connect, engage, and recreate. We're older. We've called many places home before we found Washington Street. And we have a few smile lines. But we're thriving. And it's because we didn't make it to 61 alone. It takes a community. It takes this community. People, of partners, of thinkers and doers, and naysayers and cheerleaders, and of course seniors. The focus of our mission and our team's passion. Chelsea is an amazing community. I'm not going to cry. I'm working really hard and I'm crying.
Yes, you are.
And it's filled with amazing seniors who choose to share themselves with us. Seniors whose wisdom and heartache, victories, defeats, and lived experience inspires us to be what they need. That is why we do what we do. And we have more to do. Thank you, Chelsea, and my amazing team, for continuing to walk this path and share this journey with us.
really hot. It is now my pleasure to welcome Mr. Stuart Mann, the Chamber Board Treasurer, who will introduce the 2025 Small Business Leadership. Stuart.
In the 9 years Lake House Bakery has been in business, it has become a fixture in Chelsea, providing premium baked goods, sandwiches, soups, and more to just about every event and organization in town. Here's a partial list. Chamber annual meeting desserts, Rotary Christmas tree lighting, the hot cocoa is delicious.
Yeah.
Faith in action, music on the tracks, Timbertown rebuild every day of the project, chocolate extravaganza, gift certificates for more fundraisers than I can count, and classes and demonstrations for many civic events. And I'm sure I'm leaving out plenty of others. The Lake House Bakery is always supportive of the community. Outside of running the business, the Lake House Bakery is committed to doing whatever they can to promote food sovereignty in our area and are an active proponent of the farm-to-table movement. The Lake House Bakery owner, Keaton Rogers, invests his time and trust in the people who work for him. This is particularly noticeable in the young people on his staff, who he gives a lot of responsibility to and backs 100%. Keaton also gives his skills and talents to the community as a regular speaker at the library, as well as assisting other business owners with ideas or an introduction to a professional that can help their business grow and thrive. Keegan exemplifies the community spirit of Chelsea, and the Lake House Bakery has become a staple through his hard work and dedication. So whether you're driving out to Sugarloaf Lake for some delicious croissants, stopping by at Agricole for a divine swine sandwich, taking a class to learn how to make your own treats, or grabbing some amazing pizza the last weekend of the month, please continue to support Keegan and the Lake House Bakery and join me in congratulating them on the 2025 Small Business Leadership Award.
Thank you so much. This is not going to be easy for me. I may not comfortable with this many people, and B, this is way too overwhelming. I'm just a kid from a foster home. Like I never expected this to happen. And it's because of Chelsea. It's the city itself. This is the longest I've ever lived in any one space in my entire life. And it's because I come home. I didn't know it was ill when I got here. So thank you. Miriam's right. Bakers are passionate people. And I hope you see that every day. And I'm so appreciative. From the first time, Jim and I first went around town handing out flyers in my very first class, I remember what store we were in, the lady behind the counter was like, "Oh, we're not supposed to, but I'm going to anyway." Like, the city has been so supportive from before we even opened. I'm just so very thankful. And my amazing team, Matt, that makes way better bread than I do. And I'm a little jealous. To even my assistant who lives remotely and does all the administrative background things so that I can do what I do. I'm so very thankful for the community. There's a lot more I could say about Chelsea, but I'm going to keep it short because I'm about to lose it. I'm so honored and so thankful because I'm way more comfortable with chocolate. Lots of sugar. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you and congratulations to Keegan and the Lake House Bakery for being stewards and supplying so many wonderful breads and treats, and for so generously supporting our events at the Chamber. And especially that hot chocolate at Bakersfield. At this time, we will turn to our individual awards. The individual award nominations are reviewed and voted on by a committee of community leaders, chamber board, and past recipients of these awards. Please join me in welcoming Mike Polka, the chamber board secretary, who will introduce the 2025 Citizen of the Year.
Good evening, everyone. As Paul indicated, my name is Mike Polka, superintendent of the Chelsea School District. I'm blessed to be in that position, to be able to serve. I also serve on the chamber board, and I am a Rotarian. So if you're also interested in serving your community, you can become a Rotarian. There you go. You're not. I just need to honor this evening to introduce someone who clearly, so clearly represents the spirit of this wonderful community as we recognize the Chelsea 2025 Citizen of the Year. Matt McKernan is, in so many ways, an exemplar of what it means to be part of this community. His connection to Chelsea runs deep. Chelsea is not simply the place where Matt does business. It's a community he proudly serves and continues to invest in through his time, through his leadership, and most importantly, through his heart. Matt understands something important about communities like ours. Strong communities, as we found out this evening, we know they don't happen by accident at all. They happen because people step forward, they roll up their sleeves, and most importantly, again, they choose to give back. That's the definition of Matt McKernan. This past year, Matt brought this spirit to life in a way that many of us experienced firsthand. After many years without them, he had the vision, the persistence, and the leadership to bring back the 4th of July fireworks back to Chelsea. For so many families and so many of us, that evening was so much more than just a patriotic celebration. It was a moment that brought neighbors together. It strengthened our sense of pride, and it reminded us all why Chelsea is so special and so unique. Matt also personally models what service looks like through his leadership across the community. He serves as the Chelsea ambassador, as the president-elect of the Chelsea Rotary Club, and he contributes his time and perspective as a member of the Chelsea Community Foundation Board, among many other ways he supports the community. To me, what stands out the most about Matt is his genuine love that he has for this town. And one of the things I asked Matt, because I had it in the speech, and I took it out and I put it back in, is that Matt originated and started in Chelsea. He had a wandering way to lead himself back here, and it shows in so many ways because he loves this community so much. So tonight, we recognize someone who reminds us that community is not just a place, it's something we build together through service, through generosity, and a shared belief in the future of Chelsea. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome me in congratulating Chelsea 2025 Citizen of the Year, Mr. Matt McKernan.
Being recognized by the community you love and the community you chose to raise your family in is incredibly humbling. If you know me well, you know two things. I have a hard time saying no. I tend to chase ideas that might be just a little bigger than they should be. The idea to bring fireworks back to Chelsea really came from something simple. Over the years, I've been going to the fireworks in Manchester, Dexter, Wolf Lake, Unadilla, and every year, I kept saying, why don't we have this in Chelsea anymore? Growing up, the fireworks weren't just a show, they were a feeling. My family lived all over the country, but every summer we came back here. We'd be out at the farm, barbecuing, running around catching fireflies, playing tag around the old rotary trail at my grandma's house. Family members would come in from all over, and the fireworks were the moment that brought everyone together. It wasn't one memory, it was 100 of them. So when Laura and I started contemplating having Brooks and Sloan, I started thinking, I want them to experience that same feeling here in Chelsea. The journey to bring them back actually started in 2022. Denise, Terrace, and I Started bouncing around the ideas, venues, logistics, where would it take place? But in my mind, I always knew there was only one place that truly made sense, the fairgrounds. The original spot, the place that connects so many memories for people in this community. But this absolutely did not happen because of me. Denise Gugliari, Shasta Grifka, Lorna Tackwell, Lori Coriel, and the entire Chelsea Rotary Club took a chance on a crazy idea from a guy who has a hard time hearing the word no. The Chelsea Chamber supported us. The Chelsea Fair Board trusted us with a space that means a lot to this community. And our sponsors and volunteers made the entire thing possible. And then the night of the event came, and I remember looking up while Movine was playing and seeing about 2,500 people spread across the fairgrounds. Families sitting in lawn chairs, kids running around, people laughing, standing in line for food, watching the jousting. Awesome. And in that moment, you could see pure joy happening all around you. Chelsea has always been a special place to me. I've lived in a lot of towns growing up, and in my opinion, Chelsea has always been the bar that others try to reach. From our downtown to our businesses, to our schools, to the people who call this place home. It's the kind of community that rallies around good ideas and makes them happen. We support each other. I also have to thank my wife, Laura. Who is truly a saint. I have a bit of a problem saying yes to things. And she's the one who helps keep me grounded while still supporting every crazy idea I come up with. I love you, Laura. Can't imagine anyone else on myself. Looking ahead, our hopes is that the fireworks continue to grow and help support the Chelsea Rotary Scholarship Fund, including hopefully adding a trade scholarship for students pursuing skilled professions in the trades. But more than anything, I hope events like this create memories for the next generation the same way they did for me. Memories that remind them that no matter where life takes them, Chelsea will always be home. Thank you.
I gotta say, I think to stand up here and do this is a good gig. So if Tara someday asks you to lunch and says he'll pay, I'd say okay. Matt, our community is lucky to have you and your seemingly boundless energy to make this community better and better and better. Keep up the good work. Lost my place for a second. All right, the final word of the evening, I'm pleased to welcome our Chamber Vice President, Lori Coriel, who will introduce the 2025 Lifetime Achievement Award winners. Lori.
Thanks, Paul. It is my distinct pleasure and a real joy to introduce the 2025 Lifetime Achievement Award recipients and to know. If you spent any time in Chelsea, chances are you already know them, or at the very least you benefited from something they helped make happen. Anne currently serves as president of the Chelsea Community Foundation, where she's been a tireless advocate for projects that strengthen our community. Over the years, she has served twice on the Chelsea District Library Board and led its efforts to pass millages. She has supported our schools with the South School and Pierce Lake Elementary PTOs. In other words, if there has been a sign-up sheet, a meeting, or a volunteer opportunity in Chelsea over the past few decades, Anne's probably been there. She has called Chelsea home for more than 40 years, and in that time she has helped shape the community we all enjoy today. She has supported countless initiatives from Timber Town and Main Street Park to school programs and local organizations. And through the family business, Merkel's Furniture, she has long championed the idea of shopping local, Because if you're gonna buy a couch, you might as well support Chelsea while you're sitting on it. Tim's contributions to the community are equally impressive. During his years as chair of the Downtown Development Authority, he helped guide a number of important projects that shaped our downtown, including the redevelopment of the Longworth Building, the creation of Palmer Commons, support for the Chelsea First Initiative, and the continued success of Sounds and Sights on Thursday nights. Tim has dedicated his professional life to Chelsea through Merkle Furniture and Carpet one of the city's largest employers. Under his leadership, the business is celebrating an incredible milestone this year, 102 years in operation. In furniture years, that's practically antique. Which in their mind, I hope, is actually a compliment. What will really make Ann and Tim special isn't their leadership or their success. It's that they show up. They give their time, they volunteer, they support events, businesses, and neighbors. They've never acted like any job is beneath them, and they advocate for Chelsea wherever they go. They've also passed that same spirit on to their children, which is one of the clearest signs of a life well lived in a community like ours. And one more thing, wherever Ann and Tim are, you're guaranteed a good time. For people who have accomplished so much, they remain remarkably down to earth, generous with their time, their talents, and their resources, and always ready with a smile and a story. Chelsea is stronger, warmer, and more connected because of you. So please join me in congratulating the 2025 Lifetime Achievement Award recipients, Ann and Tim Merkle.
I'd like to take a minute and acknowledge the Chelsea Chamber. Those of you who are members, or staff, or guests, it is a great organization for our community. They do an awful lot of things. They are the network, they're the structure of the network that unites businesses of all sizes in this community through events like this, and unites our community through the community activities and projects that they do. So they are truly one of the things that makes our town special. Again, tip of the hat to the chamber. I started my professional career here in 1980. Prior to that, I worked as a youth in our family business. One of my first jobs was putting pedals on swing bicycles. It can be kind of hard, especially if you're trying to do it backwards. But I stuck with it. I had examples from my grandparents' generation, from my father's generation, from uncles and aunts. And I guess if I was going to take one major takeaway, it would be perseverance. Gratitude for my success as much as it has been so to them. There are some local organizations that have been helpful in my professional career. Chamber's been one of them. I'd like to acknowledge our local bank for its help through the years in
do your banking locally too. And I know we have more than one resource for that in our community, but I would encourage you to work locally as much as you can. I believe, and I have said through the years, that one of the reasons that Chelsea is truly a great place and special, I believe it to be that, and I think we all have to share some of that feeling here, is the contribution of the community members. You can't just, you can, but to live here and put back in the community is really what makes our community what it is. And I believe that one of the reasons, another reason we are the way we are, is that we have continuity here. We have people who perhaps grow up here, go away, and come back. And we have people who move here. Either their career put them here or their spouse brought them here. And those new people combined with the continuity of the people that grew up here are what really create our fabulous dynamic that we have here. And when it comes to new energy and dynamic, I had a pretty good idea what I was getting into when I married my wife, Amy. Greatest amount of my, for whatever success I've had professionally and elsewhere in life, I owe a lot of it to my wife and her steadiness and her home front. If you're a business owner here or you're responsible for business, you know what that asks to do in terms of time and effort. And so thank you for that and the early morning and evening meetings that I attended in my community pursuits. So thank you.
All right, I'm the last one, fast. I just wanted to say hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here and see you all. Jim and I were so pleased that we were given this Lifetime Achievement Award. It means a lot to be recognized by our community, but all the volunteer work that we've done did not happen by accident. So, contrary to popular belief, I did not grow up in Chelsea. I was not in any class in Chelsea. I grew up in Grand Rapids. My parents were both attorneys, and my father eventually became a circuit court judge. They both worked very hard at their careers, but they also took on a significant amount of volunteer work. I grew up seeing this. And when I married Tim and moved to Chelsea, I saw again that my in-laws, Jack and Mary Ann, had the same attitude about volunteering in my new community. It was just something that you did. So I just jumped right in. It was, the natural thing to do. Lori kind of went through my history. I didn't realize I had done all that much stuff. So I started my work in Chelsea as a library board member. I have to say, I guess I don't really see an end coming to this. I'm probably stuck for a long time. I don't think I'll stop volunteering until I'm dead. So I'm so thankful for all our friends and our immediate and extended family, especially Pat and Sandy Merkel, who have been such great role models for us. And, sorry, I'm off the stride. And of course, our son Brian and his wife Hallie, and our son George and his wife Rose, who continue the family legacy of making a difference and having boys to carry on the mother legacy. So many boys. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. It means so much to us, and Jack and Marianne would be so happy. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Ann and Tim, the countless ways you have volunteered your time, treasure, and talents to make our community such a great place to live, work, and recreate. Sounds like a slogan from the Chamber of Commerce. One note before I forget, at the end of the meeting when we're adjourned, I'd like all of the winners and their families and crews and everybody you have with you to come up front and get some photo ops. We appreciate your attendance at the 2026 annual meeting. For me at least, and hopefully for you, tonight has been fun and inspiring, celebrating the best of what makes our community so great. I have one last thought about a commitment that so many in our community make. Sometimes on a huge project, sometimes a great idea that gets a lot of traction, or a generous donation to a fund to fund a large vision. However, there are hundreds of folks who in their day-to-day busy lives lend a hand here or there, offering time, talent, or resources to make things happen in Chelsea. If you have ever volunteered at your kid's school, if you've ever led a scout meeting, organized a bake sale to raise money, if you've ever served on a local nonprofit board, donated to a local cause like our parks projects, donated or volunteered at Faith in Action at the Senior Center, coached a kids' team, walked kids to school, worked on a chamber event, planted flowers on Main Street, shoveled your neighbor's sidewalk, read to first graders, helped move a bookstore in one day, or 100 other small and large things, then you are part of this gigantic team of volunteers who make this a really beautiful place to live. So, if you're one of these folks, stand up.
That's everyone.
So go around and see the people that do what you do. You all help make Chelsea great. On behalf of the Chamber, we want to thank you for all that you continue to do. So with that, you can sit down, or you can stand up.